It's the stuff of nightmares as Manchester United lose to Grimsby Town or crash out of the Carabao Cup to Grimsby Town. We're going to talk about, kind of like the 5 takeaways. And we're also going to give you more like the 2 bonus takeaways. But it was a tough game to behold as Man United fans. Basically, we as fans have deliberately decided to kill our own manager and kill our own team by ourselves. It is what it is. United were simply overwhelmed in the opening 45 minutes. Grimsby played with a fearless football, not minding whether they would lose or not, and pressing with intensity and capitalizing on mistakes. I mean, Charles Vernam opener exposed defensive gaps, and Tyrell once a United Academy player. I never realized that until I saw Statman Dave post it. He played for United Academy from the under 15s to the under 18s to the under 21s to the under 23s, and left in 2020. Right, he doubled the lead after Onana flapped at the cross. For all the talk of Amorim structure, United looked shaky, unbalanced, and mentally unprepared for the game. Maybe, I don't know what to call it, maybe because of how small the stadium is and all of that. But to crash out in such a manner is disheartening and heartbreaking, but it is what it is. We have to move on. Second point to note is that Ruben Amorim made wholesale changes and it backfired. Rotation backfires, made wholesale changes, keeping only 3 players from the Fulham game while the rotation was actually expected in this Carabao Cup. The disjointed nature of the 11 showed. Ahmad and Sheshko and others couldn't find rhythm, and Amorim was forced to call on Bruno Fernandes again, Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo at halftime, and it raised questions about whether United's depth can actually be trusted. I was coming into the season very happy that we had options in mid and all of that, options in attack, and options in defense, but obviously we showed that we lacked pace, and there was also a lot of questions to be asked, especially to the entire club. I see everybody kind of getting really angry and reacting. I'm not a reactionary person. I'm one who likes to take a measured approach to things. You might call me one who's likely to support a bit of mediocrity, but I am not. It's just me taking a measured approach and not sounding like a loud barrel, exploding and saying, "Oh, Man United this, Man United that." There was also some bright sparks in the game when we brought on Bryan Mbeumo. Number 3 point of the takeaways from this is that Mbeumo scored his first goal. There was at least one bright spark. Bryan Mbeumo came off the bench and instantly looked lively, cutting inside to score his first goal in a United shirt. And it also showed his quality in tight spaces. He gave us, the fans, a glimpse of what he can offer in attack, but in a cruel twist, he later became the villain of the night, missing the decisive penalty in a sudden death. It was crazy, but we lost. And rival fans are going to be pretty happy and excited to see some of these things, but obviously we have to just try to move on from it. People are already saying Amorim's out, Amorim out. People have lost faith. Big channels are calling for his head. Others are saying, the whole club and everything, but it is what it is. Trust me, like I said on my post, when we get to this road, we will deal with it. Now, we're dealing with the backlash and everything. We all did the same thing to Erik ten Hag. Same thing. Now we're doing the same thing to Ruben Amorim. When Ten Hag was here, I was saying, guys, hold on. Let Ten Hag have this season at least. Let him. What's the worst that could have happened if Ten Hag stayed to the end of the season and we gave Amorim the beginning of the season this season? And then we signed our players, agreed those contracts and those deals. And then Amorim comes into his squad and deals with the squad however he wants to with the preseason, and he starts on a clean slate. If he loses this first, if he has his first, maybe Ten Hag didn't make Champions League or something, and he has his first game against Arsenal as a loss and Fulham as a draw, and maybe probably he had a struggle in it, or probably even when he comes we have a manager bounce. That would be different. We plan succession planning, like future and all of that, not to bring him now and force him to come and he deals with all the storms. If we had Ten Hag, at least, even though we drew or lost that game to West Ham, that his last game, could have pretty much stayed, even though he will still be hounded by the press. Now it's the turn of Amorim to be hounded by the media and by the fans. So the hounding has begun already, and I posted it on my X account and I said the hounding has begun. The Amorim Out Brigade will come out in full force and the likes of it. But, good positive. Mbeumo got the goal, but he became the villain in the end and missed the penalty. Same as our new signing, Matheus Cunha, missing the penalty. He still hasn't scored a goal for Man United yet. So where do we go from here? That's my question, but it is what it is. Maguire, the reluctant hero. That's the number 4 point. Say what you want about Harry Maguire, but he has a knack for turning up, in chaotic moments. His equalizer, a thumping header, at the far post, dragged United back into the game. For all his limitations, Maguire remains a weapon on set pieces and a leader in the dressing room. Yet, the fact that it was him, not the forwards, saving United again tells its own story. And he also, let's not forget that he put to bed his own penalty, like straight up, very powerful penalty to the left side, to his left-hand side, that's the right-hand side of the goalkeeper. And then to another villain of the night, which is our number 5 point, and that is Andre Onana. Onana's roller coaster night. Andre Onana, finally started a game this season and it was one to forget. He didn't have any preseason game whatsoever. I was injured all preseason, he didn't play any game. Beaten easily for the first goal, at fault for the second, and looked shaky under pressure. But then had not much to do in the second half. But then came the penalty shootout where he briefly looked the hero after, tipping Clark Odoor's penalty onto the bar. Unfortunately, Cunha and Mbeumo's misses overshadowed his efforts. I mean, he touched most of the balls or the penalties, but again, it's Grimsby Town. We should be beating them, but it is what it is. Questions about his form will only grow louder, and fans are gonna, kind of slash and slice him open, basically based on, based on the way things are, metaphorically anyway. And then obviously the bonus points from this is the mentality of the squad and the depths exposed. The depth of the squad and the mentality has been exposed again, just like last season. It wasn't about tactics alone. United actually were mentally exposed, right? Against a League 2 side, they looked nervous, hesitant, and lacking conviction. The second string didn't even take their chance, forcing Amorim to rescue things with senior players. This game proved what the fans fear. The squad depth isn't strong enough and the rebuild is still very fragile. But it is what it is. Like I said, mentality and squad depth was exposed. I thought we had squad depth, but we didn't. And then another bonus point is what this means for Amorim's rebuild and even for Amorim as a whole. Carabao Cup exit in August is not the end of the world, but it stings. It stings. People are already calling for his head, right? This competition is often United's best chance at silverware and a way to build momentum. But Amorim now faces early pressure, not just because of the result, but because of how United collapsed, then struggled to put Grimsby away. And then the rebuild is a long term, but the fans will demand a response in the league. They're also demanding for his head. They're also demanding that he be sacked. He should pack his bags and go. I've seen big creators do that and all of that. Reactionary fans as always, but it is what it is. Now, to round this all up, or to wrap this up, so we don't make this too long, Manchester United's 25-26 campaign, Carabao Cup campaign, ends in humiliation. A stormy night in Lincolnshire, a spirited comeback, but utterly a painful exit, decided on penalties by, misses from Mbeumo and Cunha. For Amorim, this will be the test of character, his own and his squad's character as well. For United fans, it's another bitter pill, one that brings back memories of the past cup embarrassments. You right? Memories of the past cup embarrassments. What do you guys think, basically? Obviously, Ruben Amorim, do you think he's going to stay on the job? Do you think he's going to stay? Do you think the club's going to back him? Do you think they're going to keep him? And even if they don't keep him, who's next? Who's the next manager that you guys would think that Man United can go for? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, just to keep this within 11 minutes. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. We keep growing together and we keep building community together. I'll see you on the next one. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but we have to take it. Yeah, everybody's saying what they have to say, but it is what it is. We move. So thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.